Oh my.
Okay, why am I acting? Cut the acting. Okay, no more acting. All right.
You're
No more
so
acting.
good.
I am. Okay. All right, everyone. Hello, and welcome to our Total Upgrade Inc. channel. This is our new series that we've created. It's called Upgrading Talks. And in this particular series, we're talking about upgrading relationships.
We're supposed to be doing it at the same time.
So that's okay. We're in sync, but not in sync. In sync, in sync. Not in mind. Okay, so
Moving on.
moving on.
This is episode number 3, isn't
Yeah,
it?
episode number 3.
I believe.
Yes,
I believe
episode
it's
number
number 3,
3.
yeah.
Yes, episode number 3, because the first episode was
1 to
1 to
4.
4, and then 5 to 7, and then 8 to 9 now. So
8 to 10
yes,
today.
8 to 10.
So basically, in case that you haven't seen our first episodes, my baby was scrolling down and then he saw an article and it was about couples that have lasted a long time together, okay?
Yes.
And the article was, what if you could travel back in time, what would you say to your younger self, to have a healthy habit, for a healthy relationship?
Yes.
So they came up with 17 habits that the couples that have lasted a long time, they usually do like in a regular basis. So in every episode, we're covering a few of them. And so then today we're gonna cover 3 more habits.
Yes.
And then we're gonna read it and we're gonna throw in our own experience. If we partake on that, if it's part of our lifestyle or not, and basically how has it been part of our journey.
Yes.
So let's get it started.
All right, so let's get started. So number 8, number 8 is they set aside time to regularly check in with each other. This is one thing that we actually do quite a bit. Every once in a while, we'll fire off a quick text message because it takes literally 5 seconds to fire off a quick text message to let her know, and she lets me know that she's thinking of me. She's sending me love, sending me good vibes, great energy. And when I do read that message, I feel appreciated. I feel loved. I know that I'm receiving that energy because I can feel it, a nice warm feeling here in my heart. So these check-ins are something that, hey, do you need some help with anything? Do you want me to pick something up from the store? What did you need?
How
me to
are
grab?
you?
How are you?
Just basically
just
checking
in.
on you. Yeah, like how are you doing? Is everything okay? How are you doing? How's your day going? It's just simply saying, I'm here. I'm thinking of you. How are you? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. We do it all the time.
Even, you know what? And that's not when we're like in separate places. Even when we're here at home, we'll look at each other when we're working right next to each other and say, hey, baby, are you okay? And we'll check in. And
Yeah.
then we'll look over and kiss each other and say, everything's good, baby. Do you need any help with anything? So it's just a quick check-in. Hey, how's everything going? How are you feeling? Are you hungry, thirsty? Let me get something to drink, just a quick check-in.
That's right. Number 9.
Number 9.
They know how to say sorry and mean it.
Oh.
Definitely. This is so important. I couldn't agree more. And this is a habit that we also practice, thankfully, because it is such a great, healthy practice because, for one, let's say if there is a heated situation of some sort, and the longer that you recognize and you say and you acknowledge, that you are sorry, the longer that the animosity and all the bad vibes, are up in the air. And when you are, with all these bad vibes, you're just in a bad mood. And so then you are prone to, be less patient, to just jump or, like to reply quickly or to just something like that, right? Because we're already like in that edgy mood. So that's something that we kind of like have. I don't know if we actually have agreed, actually like say, okay, let's do this, or it's been something that we kind of like incorporated without like really noticing it. But this is definitely something that we do. As soon as we recognize that we did something wrong or whatever, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I say that. I'm sorry that I talked to you like that. I'm sorry that I assume. I'm sorry that I didn't give you a space for whatever. Like, I'm sorry, whatever the situation is like really acknowledge. Actually, like 2 days ago, I don't know what we were talking about something or something happened, and then I was like a little irritated, and then I went to take a shower, and then I come back, and I was like, I'm sorry. It's not your fault that my hip, is in pain because I needed to crack it, right? It is not your fault. I made the list of things. It's not your fault. It is me, that I'm edgy right now. So I'm sorry. And that just helps to get rid of all negativity, because you want to be like in that positive, loving mode, feeling. You cannot be feeling loving if you are angry with each other. You got that? So this is again about that emotional management, that energetic management. If we want to create something beautiful, a beautiful space for each other, we want it to, we have to nurture it. It has to be like at its base, it has to be positive. So in order to be positive and all that stuff, we have to get rid of the weeds, whatever things that are trying to get into the garden. Remember, every single day we're talking about the garden, because our relationship is like a garden. So animosities and things like this, those are like the weeds. So let's remove those weeds right away, and it's like, let's take them out before it kind of like grows and it builds into something. So that's something that we're very quick to do.
Yeah, and to build on that, when we say sorry to each other, it's not just a simple, yeah, I'm sorry, okay, whatever, I move on.
Yeah.
No, it has to mean something, and this goes back to communication. Okay, there are a lot of things that you can recognize that you've done that does not really align with your partner's best wishes or happiness, right? So you'll either make her angry, or you'll get them upset or irritated and everything like that. You can recognize that you just upset them, and then you can apologize when you realize that you did something wrong. But the partner as well, this goes back to your communication. You must tell them that you are not happy, or this upset me, or this wasn't really nice to say, or didn't make me feel good, or you got me angry here. You have to communicate that in order to allow the person who may not even realize
That's right.
they did something wrong to apologize and to make amends. And once that apology is done, once that apology is given, it has to come from the heart. It has to come. You have to recognize, hey, I did something wrong, and then you put yourself into that person's shoes. How would I have felt if she did that to me, or if he did that to her, what have you? So you put yourself in that shoes, and that makes you empathetic, and that makes you realize, oh, wait, that makes me feel this way. I can only imagine what it makes her feel like, or him feel like. So that one good thing to do is make yourself empathetic by putting yourself in their shoes. Realize that, hey, this may not have aligned well with you. Like, there are days where I come and I say, baby, you remember that the other day I said this, or I did this? I'm sorry, I don't feel I came off right, or if may have come off in an annoying way, or something like that. And I apologize for that. And I recognize that, hey, I know that would bother me. So I want to apologize to you if it bothered you. And that's how you really say sorry. You say sorry from a nice, from your heart, empathetically.
Yeah.
So because you know that you hurt or did something that doesn't align with them and their greatest joy. And that's what we're
Yeah,
here for.
and guess what happens if that happens? If your partner comes and say, baby, I'm sorry for this, and that. What do you think is gonna happen in my end? My heart just fills with love and appreciation, because uh he could be a nurse. There are a lot of people out there, that are just a nurse, with their partner. But so he chose not to. So I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. I am acknowledging. Thank you, for doing that. it just brings that so much more love in I guess
It's
it
like
brings things.
acknowledging her feelings.
Yeah, but it also brings your value,
Yeah.
like your worth, like even higher. Because again, you require emotional intelligence. It's easy just to brush things under the carpet and, not to have the uncomfortable situations.
Mhm.
It's easy just, to be embarrassed or to let the ego, to run the show and say, well, forget it. I'm not gonna go and apologize. Everything started because of her or him to begin with.
Mm.
No, so so it is a constant dance of giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. At that moment, he gave that, and now what I felt like giving back was, that going back like to the other point of like showing appreciation, like showing like being effective. That was yesterday. So now, yeah. So now I feel like giving a hug, and so then in everything it just gets transmuted. There is no bad vibes. So remember when we were talking about going to bed like in peace, in good terms, okay,
Previous
right?
episode.
Exactly. So it's all these type of practices that just lead you, well, in our case, it lead us to be able to go to bed and not going to bed angry, but being happy, content with each other, right? So this is an interesting thing that one habit builds up, with another habit, and they are kind of like intertwined, right? That's the cause and effect. So definitely say sorry, because the last thing that you want to
Sorry, mean
a
it.
minute, a
Yeah.
minute, yeah, definitely. And that what, I just want to touch something that you talk about too, because it reminded me of a conversation that I had with a couple of friends when you were saying the person that we're talking with was saying something like this person offended me or did this or didn't behave, it behaved poorly or whatever, and it hasn't even apologized. And I remember that we had this same conversation, this same piece, like this similar situation with multiple people. And we said, and did you let him or her know that, they annoyed you, they offended you, they pissed you off, they whatever? And the person saying no. I say, well, you know what? In all fairness, your partner may not even be aware that they, annoy you, right? Insult you, believe it or not, like maybe a word for you means something completely different than a word for him, right? For your partner. So
Interpretations are amazing.
definitely in our backgrounds, right? The way that we grew up. So one word for you may mean something, but for me may mean something different. And that's why the communication aspect is definitely one of the top priorities in our relationship. But anyways, there's gonna be another episode for that because it is a big topic.
Yeah, it's a
It
lot.
is a lot. Yeah, yeah.
And to just sum it up, just imagine a stick of dynamite with a long fuse, okay? And the more you let that anger and animosity build, the closer that fuse, the light gets to the dynamite. And once you say sorry, that's like putting out the fuse. But until you say sorry and until you feel it and mean it, that fuse is just going to keep going and burning and burning and burning and burning, and that fire is just going to explode.
Yeah.
And then eventually the animosity of one thing is going to build on another thing, and then another thing, and then kaboom,
Yeah.
it's going to be all over, done, relationships gone,
Yeah.
unsavable.
Yeah.
The love has disappeared. So let's stop it before it gets to that end.
That's the idea. That's the smart way to go about it, really. And we're talking about romantic relationships, but the bottom line is that it can be work, family, friends,
All work relationship,
whatever.
friendship,
Yeah.
relationship.
If you are in an interaction with somebody, there is a partnership there of some sort. And if that person is annoying you or is just doing something, with or without their knowledge, but there's something that is bothering you and you don't communicate that, you fail to communicate that, every single day that you allow for, for that thing to happen, your resentment keeps growing more and more and more. And then it's like the example that you talk about the dynamite, and then that little thing is just so short that that at the minimum thing it just explodes because it's being consumed because of so many that animosity has been grown so much. So it is not only for romantic relationships, it is for any type of relationship.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
next
let's
one.
move on. And we're going to move on to number 10. Number 10 is they don't make assumptions about their partner's feelings. They ask. Right back to that communication, right?
Yeah.
So I cannot assume that you liked what I did and made you happy because I'm not you. I can't feel you, right? So this is that whole communication thing. The other day, I was working on something. I got frustrated with the computer, and then she came in and started joking around with me, but I was not in a joking mood. And I got upset, and then I'm like, no, wait, hang on, stop. Let's not assume that she knew what I was going through. Let's make sure she understands that I was not angry at her. Let me communicate to her that that anger was not for her. It was because of the computer, and I misdirected that anger towards her, and I apologized to her. So again, we're going right back to that.
Yeah,
We're
to the
saying
previous
sorry
one,
because exactly, we're saying sorry because we mean it. We know how we felt, how we made that person feel. We checked in with them, made sure that they understood and made it and understood that, hey, that apology, I'm so sorry about that this happened. And
yeah.
she herself realized, oh baby, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were frustrated with the computer. I didn't know that happened. I saw that you got upset, so I just
Yeah.
left you alone and let you just blow off. And that didn't come out right. But
I left you alone, but yeah, you blew up.
I left you alone to blow off. And people with some certain type of mind types might understand that. And let's just move on. Go on, baby.
This is something so good, you guys. Don't make assumptions.
Yeah, because when you
How,
assume you make an ass out of you, it knows.
how many times is like, you're having a conversation, right, with your loved one, or again, like anybody. But anyways, we're talking about like a romantic relationship. So how many times you have been in a conversation with your significant other, and then like again, there is an animosity there is an argument there is an annoyance, something is going, a bad vibe going on. And then your partner says, yeah, but I did this and this and that for you, or I brought you this, or I, whatever, something like for you. And then your reply is like, who told you that I wanted that? Who told you that I felt that? Who told you that I thought that? Right? You just assume, you just projected that I was feeling, thinking, doing whatever that myself, right? So, not assuming, because when we're assuming, it is, well, first of all, we're really coming from a place of not knowing. So, it's a place from uncertainty. Second of all, is like, it is like in a way like annoying with your partner, because again you are already coming with your preconceived idea of how things are, and they might not be. So instead of going through all that like emotional mess, right, of like assuming and bringing something and then feeling, and now in return you feel unappreciated because you brought something, and then the reply from your partner is like, who told you that I wanted that? I didn't ask you for that, or this or that. And now you were trying to do something nice for your partner from the goodness of your heart. And then now it's like a slap in your face, right? So instead of avoiding like all these emotional, what is the word? Disarray?
Right.
Disarray? Yeah, like all these like
Turmoil.
chaos, yeah, like turmoil, yeah. Just go right away and asking. Say, baby, is everything okay?
Check in.
Just checking in. It's just asking instead of assuming. You can avoid such a big mess, is what I'm trying to say. It just saves you time and energy. When we're talking about relationships, we're talking a lot, or we're dealing a lot with energy, if you really think about it. Because everything that we are close, right, is a partnership, is the two people together, working, is like pushing like that car kind of thing, right? So it's that mutual effort, in moving forward the relationship, right? And I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
I complete.
yeah, you did that.
A finger came out. But anyways, I lost completely my train of thought, but I'm gonna continue with what I was just saying. So then when you are like pushing, right, together, uh you don't know what the other person is going through at the moment. You don't know what the other person is thinking, feeling. You don't know if the person is thirsty. You don't know if the person, like, you don't know. So don't assume, what they are thinking, or what they did something, or nothing. Just simply go and ask the question, and it can just avoid so much
Communication.
so much emotional
This and this goes back to number 8, where it says check in with your partner. Like, we constantly check in regularly, and it's like, baby, how are you feeling? How are you doing? And again, doing things for each other. This goes back to our previous episode. Doing the little things for each other. That also means by visual cues. Yes, you cannot feel what they're feeling, and you shouldn't be assuming what's going on. But if I see her lips are really dry, and she's constantly trying to lick it and trying to get something, because I have to. I'm gonna be a little transparent. Someone's not very good with drinking water. I guzzle water like crazy, but someone doesn't drink water very often. So
I forget sometimes, you see?
yeah,
So
no,
that's
it's
with
like
the
you don't realize.
loving, yeah.
Time goes by, and all of a sudden, whoa! I haven't drank water in 12 hours. So it's like, so when you see the
Not that
lips are
long, but
dry,
anyway.
yeah, no, of course, yes, I'm exaggerator. So visual cues, right? When her eyebrows are crossed, it's like,
Yeah.
I know that I said something that didn't really agree with her,
Or something is,
Yeah.
going on there.
So I'm not going to assume I just made her angry, but I am going to assume I did something and or said something that didn't really agree or bring happiness to her.
Yeah. He will ask me, say, baby, did I did something that bother you?
Yeah.
That's that question. Like, did I do something that, just annoy you?
And 9 out of 10 times, she's like, no, I'm just thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. And I'm just not communicative to right now, or paying attention right now, or listening to you right now, because I'm just thinking too deep into this. And it happens. It's not about me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not about you.
It sounds like something very simple. Don't assume, ask. But in reality, this is something that it happens much more often than that, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And again, we go back to to communication. That's part of a good communication, or a not good communication at all. But so again, so much can be avoided. So much can be avoided, because again, your energy is like money in the bank. Your energy in your body, how you manage that energy, that will sustain you, that will allow you, to go ahead and do things. But if you are like in this bad vibe, that's like taking money, like going to the emotional ATM machine, and it's just taking and taking and taking that energy, and then everything starts building up, then less patient, then more cranky, just all bad vibes. They just keep adding up like an avalanche. So again, if you are letting all that build up, you wouldn't go nice and happy to bed. If you couldn't, because there is so much accumulated there, right? So all these practices, all these habits, they are really intertwined with each other. So don't make assumptions about their partner's feelings, about your partner's feelings.
Yes.
Just ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
Check in with your partner regularly. Make sure you haven't pissed them off. Irritate them, annoy
And if you
them.
piss them off, just go and apologize quickly.
Exactly. And when you apologize, make sure you're meaning that apology. Don't assume that your apology is right, or that you're apologizing for their feeling and or this. Just apologize from the heart. Be empathetic. be where go step into their shoes and feel what you've done to them or what you've said or what you did. Know what's going on and apologize from that heart that you know that that authentic feeling that you know, oh wow, I really hurt that and I'm sorry, you know.
I just want to add one last thing to that, and is after you apologize quickly, just change. Again, I was talking about vibes, right? So change the way that you guys are feeling at the moment by just shifting completely like the situation. So you apologize, the apology was received. So now let's switch it around, let's change the vibes, let's raise shift the energy, bring the positive energy up, and let's hug. Let's kiss each other, you know, let's give a big hug.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that touching, you know, connecting, reconnecting. Yes. Okay. So that's something really, well, while you were talking, I realized we always do that. It's kind of like the seal. Okay, we're good.
But when you, and again, she can tell if her apology actually made me feel better because I'm not hugging her with that
enthusiasm.
That's just the enthusiasm, but you can feel.
You feel it. It's energy. We're talking about energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can feel that energy of love, that energy of acceptance or forgiveness in that hug. You can feel it.
Yeah.
It's very, especially if you're very in tune, like somebody, they can really feel it. So they make sure that she makes sure that that I'm is there anything else I want to get off my chest? Do I want to say anything? You know, if she feels that I'm not hugging with the full, you know, but yeah.
Because that's a sign, right? That's an indication if there is a pattern of conduct, right? And then that pattern of conduct, you know, is interrupted, like somehow, you know, something is off. Like, you know, this is not the usual amount of hugs or the usual amount of baby, I love you, you know. That's how we are. You don't have to be like that. But anyways, that's how we are. We constantly say each other how much we love each other, either texting or in person. Sometimes, you know, from here, screaming to the room, baby! It's like, wow!
And honestly, sometimes you need that hug to reset the energy.
Exactly.
To release that energy, because the hug can be a hug, again, it's back to connection, okay? When you're arguing and you're angry at each other, there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
The disconnect is you don't agree with this presumption, or this person doesn't agree with that perspective, okay? And that disconnect is there, okay? So that's what happens. So the more that anger grows, the more disconnection is growing, and then anger grows and grows, and then compounds. This anger from that argument, that anger from that argument, you know, it just compounds. So when you hug, you reconnect, and and sometimes that reconnection, not sometimes, all the time for me, that reconnection allows her to share the energy of the frustration, the anger, the irritation, whatever, and she allows it to pass through and release. And that's what hugs can do. Hugs can take on that energy and release, especially if the person you're hugging is grounded. So if you ever felt my hug, you can feel, you'll understand what my hugs are like. So you know, if you've ever felt my hug, you know what kind of hug I give. So that
bear hug.
Yeah, and it's a bear hug, but I've learned that not everybody likes bear hugs, right? So every person I give a hug to, I feel that energy and I tailor my hug to that person, and then all of a sudden I keep hearing the same compliment over and over again. Oh, what a great hug. You give great hugs. What a hugger. You're amazing. You gotta hug this guy. He's amazing. Like I get these compliments all the time. And this is, again, when the hugging is important. I forgot where that train of thought was going, but
and we're talking about relationships, but again, romantic relationships. But the bottom line is that, again, your family, your friends, you know, they might really be needing dearly, you know, like a hack or any of these practices, habits that we have discussed. So make it part as much as you can. If they resonate with you, make them part of your life, of your lifestyle. And yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we have been doing.
This
Basically every single point so far has been like,
Yeah.
we practice it. We do it in our own.
So far every single
So
point
far.
we
So
do
let's
it,
see. There are 7 more to go.
Yes.
We're
Thank you
going
for
into more episodes.
Thank you for listening to us go and rant. And we hope that we imparted some knowledge into your mind, into yourself, and you'll take away some of this knowledge and use it in your daily life, in your relationship, whether it's your loving relationship, whether it's your business relationships, whether it's your friendship relationships. This can be addressed and taken into all relationships, except for the bedroom one. That's a whole other thing. And the affectionate one.
Yeah.
Those are some things that just should not be taken into any other relationship except for
Most
those.
definitely. Bye, guys. Have a great day or a great afternoon, night, whatever you are in the world.
Yes.
Today, big hug, and we can wait until we see you next episode. 2 more episodes to go with these 17 habits.
Yes.
That couples that have last long time, they have done a part of their lives as well, the lifestyle.
Yes, and this is what makes this good is that the fact that we're doing most of these tells us that we're gonna last.
Yeah, we're like check. So how are you doing so far?
Let us know if you're checking all those check marks, and if you're not, what are you gonna do to change that and make sure those check marks are checked? So let's check the next 2 episodes and see if we check those check marks.
How many you got?
Yeah, how many we checked on the way on.
Yeah.
So see you next episode.
Have a great day. Take care. Be happy. Ciao.
Bye everyone.